Hey everybody, I'm Tasha here for Candied Little Yams. This is my 7 to 11 week pregnancy update, and I'm so excited to have the energy just to do these. I am now 11 weeks. I'll be 12 weeks tomorrow, so I'm like squeezing it in there. 7 to 11 weeks. So these are symptoms and things that happen between like the moment I found out I was pregnant up until today. Or a week ago or something like that. So I said in my 0 to 6 weeks pregnancy update that I had extreme fatigue. That has not stopped. The only thing that helps is I pushed my bedtime up to 7:30 p.m. and I sleep to about 5 to 7 or 8 a.m. and I stay in the bed until I absolutely have to move, or it just becomes like unacceptable to still be in the bed for the day. But I get in the bed. My dog eats at 7, which is probably the only reason I don't get in the bed as soon as I get home from work or whatever, around 5 or 6. He eats at 7, so I get up, feed him at 7, brush my teeth, take out my contacts, and I'm in the bed by 7:30. Probably sleep or on my phone or something. Definitely sleep by 9 o'clock. And that's only here lately because with the extreme fatigue, I found like you're not supposed to have caffeine when you're pregnant, and that's all I was hearing at first, but I didn't know what to do about like not feeling like a human and not having any giddy up. So I looked it up and it was like you can have this amount. No, this is what happened. I was looking at a show called One Born Every Minute. A lot of people have illegally uploaded it to YouTube. It's a UK labor and delivery show, and they like give the women tea in the labor ward. So I was like, it must be a cultural thing, you know, this caffeine pregnancy thing. It must be cultural. So I looked it up and it was like women can have this amount of caffeine while they're pregnant. So I was like, okay, so that gives me some leeway to drink some caffeine. I've always loved, like, I like coffee and I like tea, but I haven't been able to drink it or become like an aficionado or a connoisseur or like a really big coffee person because it gives me insane insomnia throughout my whole life. So while I like it, I've always drinking it in limited quantities, even Coke or anything like that. But since I've been pregnant, I noticed one day I had a Pepsi and I was like on the phone talking to people, which I completely cut out. I think I had sex with my boyfriend, which I said before I had a low libido. Or I might not even been sex. I might have just been nice to him for once during this pregnancy. And I was like, yeah, I love this stuff. So that's when I was like, I may actually just maybe not need, but I want a little bit of caffeine, and not even every day, just on days where I have to be a human, interact with people, you know, do a little bit more than just go to work and come home. If I'm just going to work and coming home, I don't really depend on caffeine. I just go there, work, and come home and get in the bed and go to sleep. But if I need to be like out and grocery shopping and dealing with people and like alert, it's been a savior, and it gives me the will to fight another day. So that's the note on extreme fatigue. It's still here, but I'm learning to cope with it. From the day that I found out I was pregnant up until now, or maybe last night, I have not been able to sleep through the night, except for maybe last night, because I don't remember waking up. But I'm talking about waking up, not even to use the bathroom, but just waking up for like 30 and 40 and hours at a time, just can't sleep. Part of it had to do with my toothache. Part of it had to do with my medications that I'm on for the toothache, which I discussed in my previous video, which you can check out. It's in the description below. And the other, I guess it just had to do with being pregnant or anxiety, or I don't know. But from the day I found out I was pregnant up until last night, which I think was the first night I slept through the night, which is probably another reason why I feel so good. I didn't take any prescriptions yesterday, so I feel great today. Maybe because I slept through the night. That might be it. I wasn't able to sleep through the night. So that was a pregnancy symptom from my 7 to 11 weeks update. Another nasty thing that happened early, like 7 weeks after I kind of had sex, I think, for the first time, I had a brown discharge. And a lot of people have it. They call it implantation bleeding. When the baby attaches to the uterus, it bleeds, but mine never came out until after I had sex this time, and it was so much that I had to wear a pad, but it was all brown. I talked to my cousin who's a family practitioner, and I googled a lot, and it said nothing was wrong. If you have cramps and it's bright red, go to the doctor. Even when I started seeing my OB, I told them about the brown discharge, and she was like, did you go to the hospital? I was like, no. And she was like, good, because they would have sent you home. But it was just a disgusting thing that happened to my vagina. So yeah, TMI. This is a little in-depth. Anyway, secondly, I spoke about this earlier with my boyfriend. I started to hate him. I was very irritated with everything he said, everything he did. This is the man who got me pregnant. But I just hated him, and it wasn't because he got me pregnant. It was just because I was so irritable, and he was the only person that I really kept having to deal with on that level. Like my parents, who I live with, I guess that'll be changing soon. I have to move out. My sister, I just can, you know them for so long. You don't have to talk to them every day. If you're having a bad day, you just don't talk to people. But this person, I guess since I kept having to talk to him because we're in a relationship, it's so irritating. Everything was annoying. And I thought I hated him. I broke up with him. Then I decided, like, oh, maybe you don't hate him. Maybe it's just like my toothache. Maybe I'm just irritable because of this pregnancy. And I was like, oh yeah, I did love him before. So that's a spiritual practice at this point, trying to be nice to him and just trying to not be irritable. Also, like, the same way I know when to interact with my parents and when to interact with my sister and the other people I love in my life, just knowing like, oh, today isn't the day to talk to them because I'm snappy and blah blah blah, telling him like, today ain't the day. I'm finna get into bed and go to sleep. I'm not finna have an hour-long conversation with you about work because that is insignificant to me right now and I cannot handle it. I'm going to sleep. So just being able to communicate that better. And I guess that's why they say it's all about communication, because I think it's a lot better now. He would probably argue differently, but hopefully it'll get better. I think it's a lot better. Like I said in my other update, since knowing I was pregnant, I already had a dentist appointment because one of my earliest pregnancy symptoms was tooth sensitivity and old dental work acting up and new dental work, like tooth decay and breaking and stuff happening. So I did go to the dentist. They prescribed me antibiotics, and at the time I was controlling the pain with Tylenol and Orajel. It was working. A couple of days later, it didn't work anymore, and I woke up in pain, shaking, crying, like this is terrible. And I went to the emergency room and they gave me Loratab and they told me I could take Vicodin, which I had an old Vicodin prescription laying around the house. It is my prescription, it's just older, and so I've been taking that, and that has helped with the pain, but it puts me in a fog and it makes me miserable. In fact, I didn't take it yesterday at all, and I think that's one of the main reasons why I feel like a human again today, and I'm not dizzy or nauseous or faint or weak or any of those other crappy side effects, but it's the only thing that controls the pain. And then I went to an oral surgeon for a consultant, but she refuses to work on me until my second trimester, and that's when they will do x-ray, and then she will do a two extractions under local anesthetic. And my regular dentist next week, without an x-ray, is going to do 3 fillings, I guess, under local anesthetic. So that is what's up with my teeth. They're terrible and I hate them. And that is my number one regret for, if you can guess it, I didn't plan this pregnancy. That's my number one regret for not planning this pregnancy. I'm 26 years old, so I don't have many regrets for not planning, but that's like the main one. It's like if you're trying to conceive, go ahead, as a part of trying to conceive, get all of your dental work done. Get any wisdom teeth removed, get any cavities filled, get any root canals done, get any bridges done, any work, x-rays that need to be done. Get all of that done before you're pregnant, because I never thought that I would be taking Vicodin or Lortab while I was pregnant. You see my natural hair, and like, I'm a hippie. Like, I thought I was going to have this very clean, natural pregnancy whenever I did decide to get pregnant, and that has not happened, and that's probably my only or number one regret. You know, when I first found out, I did go through like a little bit of a depression, just because it's like, whoa, it was just kind of overwhelming, but that lasted a couple days. And like I said before, then I got a cold, and then my teeth started falling out of my face, and life got real. So anyway, the next thing, if you wonder what I'm looking at, I'm looking down at my little paper where I've wrote all this stuff down at. Like I said, I did get a sinus cold, and that was about week 8 or 9. And I don't know why I'm sounding congested now, but it made me congested in my nose, which I no longer have the cold. I don't know what this is. If my boyfriend made me sick yesterday, I'm going to be so mad. But anyway, it was a head cold, but it made my muscles so sore, and I felt even weaker, and everything just was a pain. Like, even doing something like this was like, you know, like when you get the flu. That muscle soreness from a cold is like the worst part of being sick, besides not being able to breathe normally. It's pretty painful. One thing that did help me a lot be able to breathe was hot tea with lemon and honey in it. But with being pregnant, or I don't know what, I threw it up immediately. All of the tea just came up like a waterfall of projectile vomit. I don't know. So I wasn't able to consume as much tea as I wanted to, but that really did help out my throat. So that was a thing. Like I said in my last update, I have changed my toothpaste. I don't have a huge teeth brushing problem except for brushing my tongue. I still haven't been able to brush my tongue, especially not in the morning. It's just a no-go unless I want to gag and vomit for at least 5 to 10 minutes after doing so, which is not worth it. I'd rather have stinky breath than vomit nothing for 5 minutes and just dry heave over the everything. So, but changing my toothpaste did help, because the other toothpaste, it wasn't bad, but it was just too much. It was like a conventional toothpaste with like all of this fragrance and bubbles and everything. But now I'm using Tom's, and it's just so mild, and it just does the job, and without all the extra stuff. So about 8 or 9 weeks, I did go to the public health clinic near my house to confirm my pregnancy. And at the same time, the internet is going to explode when I say this. So, oh, we're taking care of your baby anyway. And I did sign up for Medicaid, so now I have Medicaid and WIC, and they did tell me to sign up for food stamps as well. So everyone who's conservative and thinks that I don't work and all that other stuff can explode in the comments if they want to. But I do work. I work a job. I qualify for Medicaid and WIC. And I don't get food stamps yet, but if you qualify for WIC, they tell you to apply for food stamps. I may qualify for that too, but I do have an income, and I do work, and I do pay into the system as everyone else who's probably going to say that they are taking care of me. You know, all that Fox News rhetoric bullshit. Yeah, I'm going to curse. Anyway, so after that, they told me, they gave me a list of obstetricians to pick from, which was like, I don't know, I went to school for public health, and it's like rating systems that doctors have, and they just gave me a sheet of paper with addresses on it and was like, here, pick an obstetrician. And it's like, this is just a piece of paper with names and addresses on it. How am I supposed to pick the person to deliver my spawn from this? Anyway, I picked one, and I go to them, so it worked. The nurses are really nice. I have yet to meet any of the OBs. I had an ultrasound and they didn't have to stick the one up my hoo-ha because I guess I'm a little late. I was 10 weeks when they did it. 10 weeks, 5 days was the date. It was a dating ultrasound and the baby was moving like this. And they just did it over my stomach, which was so excited to see. But so far I've seen, I guess you call it a radiologist maybe, who does the ultrasound, an ultrasound tech, and a nurse practitioner. There are 5 OBs in the practice. You don't know who's going to deliver your baby. Whoever's on call is the one who will deliver your baby. I'm a little nervous about that. One is a man, which I don't have a problem with. I'm not that, I don't care for some reason. I do have a problem with like not seeing one person and having them know my case and them deliver my child, but just like, oh, whoever's on call will come and deliver your baby, which I know is it's not a standard, well maybe it's a standard practice, but I know I've heard of it before. It's not abnormal to have that happen, but it's just a little weird. When I thought about how my pregnancy would go, I thought I was going to get like a midwife, which I have to ask them if they have any midwives at that hospital, because they might. But I thought I was going to get one midwife and we're going to have this excellent relationship, because I watch all these YouTube videos about all these pregnancy journeys and I just thought that's how it would go, but I don't have no money for that. So this is what's happening. So that's that. 10 weeks, like I said, I got an ultrasound and I got blood work done and I got to hear the heartbeat. It was one time she did it, it was 147. Another time she did it, it was 165 or something like that. So it's between 140 and 170. And it's alive and it's in there. And at that moment, it became really real that I was pregnant and not just hungover forever and not just sick for no reason. Now that I'm 11 weeks, I'm getting much better at taking my prenatal pills. They were making me gag at first, but now I break them in half, so that they don't really make me gag as much anymore. And then once they were in my stomach, they would make me throw up. So a part of them not making me gag is taking them with like sweet potato, half at a time with sweet potato. And I think the sweet potato actually sitting on my stomach with the prenatal is helping me better digest them and not vomit them up. Also, I don't take them in the morning anymore. I take them midday, which helps as well. My dog keeps laying on top of me. That's another thing that's happening. I'll insert a picture here, but he's a corgi. He never really did that before, but now he does it, and it's so weird. He's so weird. But that's it for my 7 to 11 week pregnancy update. Hopefully I can keep doing these. Not hopefully. Let's speak it into existence. I'm going to do these every week of my pregnancy from now on, and hopefully even after the baby is born, and I can bring it on and be like, oh, look at my little baby, it's 1 week old. So yeah, that's it for today. Bye.